not only was the Muslim Brotherhood operating in America, but that the Brotherhood played a singularly important role in providing indoctrination, financing, and political protection for jihadist terrorism. From its very beginning, the Muslim Brotherhood has operated as a clandestine organization which engages in the creation of public front groups, cultivates agents of influence, seeks control over religious institutions, and engages in acts of political subversion, as well as creating deniable sub-organizations devoted to terrorism, all in pursuit of their ultimate goal, the overthrow of governments and the re-establishment of a worldwide caliphate operating under Islamic law.
Mr. Scheidler, you're recognized for your opening statement.
Chairman Cruz.
What is the long-term objective of the Muslim Brotherhood inside the United States? In this video, we break down key insights and testimonies from a critical U.S. Senate hearing led by Senator Ted Cruz. From the historic Holy Land Foundation trial to multi-generational strategies, we analyze the evidence presented by top legal and counterterrorism experts. If you found this breakdown informative, please like, share, and subscribe to stay updated on key national security and political developments.
Distinguished senators, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to testify today. Because our court system is built on certain fundamental principles, including trial by jury, the government's burden of proof in criminal matters, and the right to confront one's accusers, courts, both civil and criminal, have been at the center of revelations of great consequence to our republic and its national security. Examples include the Chamber Hiss case and its famous pumpkin papers, exposing the role of the Communist Party of the United States in Soviet espionage, or the 1957 Appalachian New York raids, which convinced the federal law enforcement of the existence of the American Mafia. To these, we must add United States versus Holy Land Foundation for Relief and Development, prosecuted almost 2 decades ago, which exposed the existence and extensive reach of the Muslim Brotherhood in America since its arrival in 1962. Evidence submitted during that trial demonstrated that not only was the Muslim Brotherhood operating in America, but that the Brotherhood played a singularly important role in providing indoctrination, financing, and political protection for jihadist terrorism. Founded in Egypt by Hassan al-Banna in 1928, from its very beginning, the Muslim Brotherhood has operated as a clandestine organization which engages in the creation of public front groups, cultivates agents of influence, seeks control over religious institutions, and engages in acts of political subversion, as well as creating deniable sub-organizations devoted to terrorism, all in pursuit of their ultimate goal, the overthrow of governments and the re-establishment of a worldwide caliphate operating under Islamic law. It is worth recalling that the government demonstrated that the U.S. Muslim Brotherhood, like all Brotherhood branches worldwide, created and funded Hamas support networks known as Palestine Committees at the direction of the International Muslim Brotherhood beginning in 1983. The most infamous Palestine Committee organization in the United States, CARE, was so significant that its creation and bylaws received the explicit approval of the Muslim Brotherhood leadership in Egypt. HLF documents and related cases reveal that at one time, 1 in every 4 American mosques was under the influence of the Hamas-linked North American Islamic Trust. Brotherhood members, including some convicted of terrorism charges, such as Sami al-Arian and Abdurrahman al-Amodi, regularly worked to influence leaders of both American political parties. Organizations affiliated with the Brotherhood have recruited and trained chaplains for American prisons and the American military. Brotherhood organizations operate on nearly every college campus in the United States and have regularly recruited young American Muslims and led them to commit acts of terrorist violence. In short, the issue of the U.S. Muslim Brotherhood is not merely a counterterrorism issue, but it is also a systemic counterintelligence challenge. And even more broadly, it is a challenge to the fabric of the United States and its ability to seek assimilation and social cohesion. In the HLF case, the United States government achieved an unparalleled intelligence coup, and yet almost none of this information was put to substantive further use. HLF would be the last domestic Muslim Brotherhood charity designated by the U.S. Treasury Department. There were no further prosecutions for material support. It was the equivalent of cracking the Enigma code in 1939 and then never decoding another Nazi message. In 2008, the U.S. government had in its possession the name and rank of most leading Muslim Brotherhood figures in the United States. I would encourage the senators to demand, in an appropriate classified setting, that U.S. intelligence deliver the same levels of insight into Brotherhood operations today. The federal government's disinterest in the challenge of the Muslim Brotherhood has largely been answered by private efforts at the local and state level. These have included educational efforts, but also legislative and judicial responses. More than half a dozen state legislatures have passed resolutions condemning CARE. 2 states, Florida and Texas, have publicly declared the group a terrorist organization. Some state attorneys general are currently pursuing investigations into Brotherhood-linked entities. There have been efforts in federal court to enforce federal court judgments against elements of the Palestine Committee, as well as lawsuits seeking to expose the role of foreign funding in CARE. Unfortunately, in multiple cases, as was already outlined, Brotherhood affiliates have successfully utilized lawfare to avoid complying with discovery. Critics will claim that the data derived from the HLF case and related cases are decades old. This is true, but it's also misleading. When studying clandestine networks, one must realize that they are established over many decades as trained cadre move through positions of trust in the network's various fronts. Such individuals are not easily replaced, and they will regularly reappear. A historic snapshot of such a network and the players in it, far from being irrelevant, is a crucial piece of the puzzle, prized by both intelligence practitioners and historians. In conclusion, it is those who insist that the Brotherhood is a leopard who has somehow changed its spots who should be the ones required to meet the burden of proof, because the U.S. government has already proved beyond a reasonable doubt what the Muslim Brotherhood is.
Thank you. Thank you to each of you for your testimony, which was highly enlightening. Ms. Burns, I want to start with you. Thank you for your work defending the safety of all Americans. We are indebted to you for your 23 years of service. As the lead investigator and prosecutor in the Holy Land Foundation investigation and prosecution, you have become deeply knowledgeable on the Muslim Brotherhood network operating in America. I want to start with a fundamental question. What should Americans be worried about the Muslim Brotherhood?
Thank you for the question. I think Americans need to understand the extent of the threat that this movement poses and the extent of their ability to achieve their goals and their patience in obtaining success in this. The strategy that they have set in place involves the erosion of our democratic principles. It involves the erosion of our personal freedoms. It involves the erosions of the very principles upon which this country was created. And the individuals within this network do not have a deadline. If it takes them 100 years to achieve this goal, they will steadily pursue it. That is something that I think in general Americans have a hard time understanding, is the stamina that this network possesses and the lethality that exists within it. Because ultimately, their goal is to erode our society and turn it into something that none of us want or need.
In the Holy Land Foundation prosecution, how many entities did the government identify as unindicted co-conspirators and joint venturers?
I don't remember the exact number, but it was hundreds.
Do you believe some of these groups were likely providing material support to terrorists?
I do.
And are some of these groups still in existence today?
Yes, sir, they are.
Do you believe they are still actively members of the Muslim Brotherhood network?
I do.
Is the conspiracy under which the Holy Land Foundation was prosecuted still in existence today?
I believe that it is.
What is the long-term objective of the Muslim Brotherhood inside the United States? In a recent U.S. Senate hearing led by Senator Ted Cruz, expert witnesses delivered a stark warning to the American public. They testified that the network's overarching goal extends far beyond standard political activism, aiming to steadily subvert democratic principles and expand radical influence across key American institutions. To understand this network, we have to look at its origins. Founded in Egypt in 1928 by Hassan al-Banna, the Muslim Brotherhood established its initial presence in the U.S. back in 1962. As expert witness Mr. Schindler testified, the full scale of their operations was unmasked nearly 2 decades ago during the landmark federal prosecution, United States versus Holy Land Foundation. Court evidence demonstrated that the network established clandestine front groups, built support networks for Hamas, and guided public organizations like CARE under direct international oversight. The scale of this institutional footprint is significant. Trial evidence revealed that at one point, up to 1 in 4 American mosques was under the influence of Hamas-linked entities. Operatives built active networks across college campuses, influenced political figures, and even recruited chaplains for military and prison systems. Witnesses emphasized that this isn't just a localized counterterrorism issue, it represents a systemic counterintelligence challenge to American social cohesion. Former federal prosecutor Ms. Burns, who led the Holy Land Foundation prosecution for over 2 decades, provided crucial testimony on the enduring nature of this threat. She warned that the network operates with incredible patience. Rather than seeking immediate action, their strategy relies on the gradual, multi-generational erosion of constitutional freedoms. By the way, if you're finding this breakdown valuable and want to stay informed on deep-dive investigative analysis like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications. While several states like Texas and Florida have taken decisive legislative action, expert witnesses stress that federal authorities must reignite comprehensive intelligence investigations into these long-standing networks. To watch the complete Senate testimony and review the full video, check out the link in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.